Hey guys, what's going on? We're going to do a gear review today, and actually we're doing a gear review on a bow. Which bow? The Mission Craze. Why? Because it's an awesome bow. Now why is it an awesome bow? So basically this thing is adjustable from 15 to 70 pounds and from I think 19 to 30 inches. So basically this is the most adjustable bow on the market. Hands down, plain and simple, it's the best. So why is that a big deal? Well, this bow is retails, at least I picked it up for $269 plus tax, obviously. Okay, so it adjusts. It's so adjustable that if you're someone on a budget, you know, you're a guy with a 29-inch draw, 70 pounds, but you're on a budget, this bow is going to match that budget. Another thing is if you're looking to buy a bow for a youngster or a woman who wants to get into it, this bow is going to be adjustable enough that they can even start at a lower poundage and work this way up. So basically for the younger kids, this bow is going to grow with them. I purchased one of these for my brother actually, and I purchased one for my girlfriend. So that's what I'm reviewing now. It's actually her pink bow. So basically with the adjustability on it, I mean, my brother, for example, that bow is going to grow with him. For her, I can set this at her draw length and she can just work on growing her poundage. So it's a great bow. The fact that it's so adjustable is nice because you can do all your adjustments at home. There's a little Allen screw right here. You loosen it. You turn this little dial to what the draw length you need to set at. You put your Allen screw back in, and then you do the same thing on the other cam, and it's set. You don't need a bow press. You don't need to take it to an archery shop. To adjust poundage, they've got Allen keys on top and bottom limbs. You just tighten them down or loosen them up based on poundage, and you don't have to take that to an archery shop either. Just make sure that if you're loosening limbs or you're tightening them down, you do it in the same increments. So one full turn top, one full turn bottom. You know, that's a big thing you have to make sure of, otherwise your bow's not going to shoot as accurately as it could. The only thing I really don't like about this bow is it's heavy, and I mean, for $269, it's not so heavy that you can't deal with it. But my thing about it is, you know, the women, for example, my girlfriend complains it's heavy. Her arm gets really tired after shooting for not very long, and it's because she's not used to holding the bow out there. Same with my brother. When he first started shooting, he would really complain, you know, his arms sore from holding the bow. So the heaviness kind of sucks. The way you can remedy that is go with some really light accessories. So try to go with a smaller rest, try to go with maybe a carbon sight. I know for starters you don't really want to kind of spend that much money, but the thing is, it's worth it because something that's going to make their experience more enjoyable is going to keep them interested. Maybe don't start off with a stabilizer. You know, this is a fairly vibration-free bow. So and I have shot both hers and my brother's. I just adjusted my draw length and my draw weight, shoot them no problem. So I have personal experience shooting these. It's a fairly vibration-free bow. I mean, so going without a stabilizer for a while, just until they can get used to that weight, especially if it's an older stabilizer, is not going to affect much. I mean, worst case scenario, when you put the stabilizer on, it's going to be a little bit heavier, but they're going to go, oh wow, the hand shock's a lot less. So they're going to enjoy it more. One thing I will say, and one thing I do really like, is it's a super smooth draw, and that's in thanks to the shape of these cams. So notice how it's just kind of a gradual rollover. You know, it's really gradual. There's no steep valleys or any, you know, there's no harsh turns or anything like that, like you would find on maybe a speed bow or a more expensive bow or something to that effect. So that is really nice. That it's a smoother draw. It's going to be easier for them to pull. The thing that's what kind of sucks is speed-wise, it's not what I necessarily want for someone with a lower draw weight. I want something that's going to shoot a little faster. The reason is because the faster you can propel an arrow, the more kinetic energy, better penetration for hunting. However, it's impractical to go out and spend $600 on a bow. It's going to give you all that performance, but maybe they don't like it. something like this has a great resale value because people are always looking to pick them up for their kids or their girlfriends or anything like that. So if you spend the money and it ends up they just don't like archery, it's just not for them, you've got options basically. I personally think I told myself, even though it's pink, if my girlfriend, I was going to get it for it, and even if she didn't like archery, I was going to keep this for bow fishing because these make fantastic bow fishing bows also. The pink really doesn't bother me. It makes no difference as long as it's functional, and I've seen these used for bow fishing a lot. They're entirely functional, so to me it was a win-win. She ended up loving it, so that's even better. Now I have hers pretty well decked out. I've got a pink peep sight, kisser button, which I'm going to stress the importance of a kisser button for new archers. And the reason I'm going to stress that is because it gives them a constant anchor point. So that's really important that they have numerous points. So knuckle behind the ear, kisser button in the corner of the mouth, string on the nose. If you've got those 3 points, you're going to be a successful shooter. So basically, I basically say they have to have a kisser button to start. Have to. I'm gonna eventually get her a pink D loop. I'm gonna set her up pink just because it's her favorite color. But as far as draw, I'm gonna go ahead and draw it for you. And I know this isn't gonna be right for me, but I just kind of want to give you an idea. So obviously this is like 30 pounds and I'm drawing 70, so this is nothing for me to pull back. But just kind of want to give you an idea of how smooth it is. And I mean, it's like butter. I guess that's really all I've got to cover. The Mission bows are made by Matthews, so it's an off-branch of Matthews. That's pretty well common knowledge, but in case you didn't know it, now you do. Another thing that I'm going to recommend, I'm just going to kind of use this segment as what I would do for low poundage archers. So I would definitely recommend a drop away rest. Why? Faster. And another thing is, whisker biscuits are great and a lot of people use them for beginners, and I like whisker biscuits because it's got that you can shake the bow and the arrow's not coming off. But the thing I don't like about whisker biscuits is it actually slows your arrow down. Now when you're shooting targets or you're just shooting for fun, that's no big deal, but in a hunting scenario, when you really need that energy for that good penetration, that is kind of a big deal. So to me, you can't put a whisker biscuit on a hunting bow, on a youth or a woman's bow. It's not worth it. Go spend the money on a full captured fall away. NAP makes some good ones for not too expensive. Spend that money, and another thing is going to make them more accurate. So basically when a fall away rest drops, there's nothing contacting the arrow. So if you're torquing the bow, which a lot of new shooters have a tendency to do, so if you torque it or do this after the shot, it's not going to affect arrow flight as bad as it would with a whisker biscuit. It's going to give them a lot of confidence and allow them to shoot better. So I think that's really, really necessary. I think it's really, really necessary to have that drop away rest. Another thing, I would start them out with 3 pens. Not anymore. I would say this: try to get a 3-pen or a 5-pen sight. I start them out with 3 pens, but that doesn't mean you can't buy a 5-pen and just drop the bottom 2 pens down out of the equation and sight in the first 3 just to start with. Try to get a sight that's got .019 pens or smaller. Why? Bigger pens, so the .029s, 3.9s are, I don't even know if they get that big, but they have a tendency to cover the target the further away you get. So at 30 yards, they're pretty much covering the entire bullseye of a target. You really want them to be able to pick a spot, and it's going to make them more accurate. So I like the smaller pens. Unfortunately, I have not upgraded the sight on this yet, or haven't got her to smaller pens, but it's happening soon, and the reason is so she can see her target. Those pens really take up a lot of room on that target, so you can't really see where you're shooting, and that's not okay to me. So .019 or .010, if you're an older guy and you've got kids and you can't really see, that doesn't mean they can't. They're gonna have better eyes than you. I mean, they're younger. So putting a sight like that, or putting a yeah, a sight like that on with the smaller pins isn't going to be an issue for them where it might be for you. So you got to keep that in mind. If they're not you, they're going to have a different setup. I guess really that's about everything I've got to cover. You know, make sure you get a drop away. Make sure you have a rest or a sight with smaller pins. Drop away rest. Make sure the poundage isn't too high. The draw length's correct. Make sure they have a good release. Make sure they've got good arrows. You know, don't be afraid to. I know it sounds like a big deal to go out and drop a lot of money on someone just starting, but really it's worth it. And the reason is the more money you spend for better equipment, the more enjoyable it's going to be to them. So don't be afraid to spend that little bit of extra money to get something good. I guess that really covers it, you guys. So this has been fun, and it's nice to talk to you. I kind of droned on for a long time, almost 11 minutes now. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it. This has been Chest Thumper TV. We were talking gear. It's been nice talking with you guys. Have a good one.